Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Norwich Talk. Hallelujah. Norwich City have been linked to a footballer. My lord, it's been quite some time, hasn't it? Usually, when Norwich City get linked to players, they just, the rumours get shot down almost immediately. But this time, it's kind of almost been given a green light from various sources. You've got Michael Bailey of The Athletic, I think Connor Southwell tweeted about it, and Nick Masheter as well. They're all giving the same message of, yep, this is of serious interest in terms of, from a Norwich City perspective. Gabriel Sara, I could not have sounded more Norfolk then. Gabriel Sara. That was horrendous, wasn't it? Blimey. Sarah, it's 50-50 really. Usually I'm terrible with names, but this is literally 50-50. As always, correct my pronunciation in the comments down below. From everything that I've read so far, it seems interesting. Interesting is the word that I always use. It's the word I'll continue to use. This video here is going to be a bit of a journey. It's a bit of a compilation of what I've found out in this very short time about him. I know it's very late for when this video has been released, but I thought I want to be the first to get a video out there. So that is what we are doing. As always, to your right, on the right of your screen, you will see a compilation of notes that we are going to be talking about. You know the format if you've been here before. If you don't, hopefully you get used to it. I enjoy making these videos. I think they're often a good tool. That's enough waffle. Beginning with Gabriel Sara. He's 23 years old. He's Brazilian, and he is right now, before we get into the depths of it a little bit later, known as an attacking midfielder. He is playing for Sao Paulo is what I'm going to call it. So they're in the first tier of Brazilian football, known as Serie A, whatever you want to call it. The league for that, by the way, runs from April to November. So when you read about a season of the first tier of Brazilian football, they say 2020, 2021 rather than we do, which is 2021/2022. So the seasons, from what I've Googled anyway, seem to be within 1 year, which is different, I guess. Michael Bailey is where I saw this first, stated that this would be a loan with an option to buy. And he compared it to sort of the transfers for Ben Gibson and Dimitris Giannoulis. So that's all you need to know in terms of how this would look, which makes you think that maybe he would cost a few quid. 23 years old as well. And in terms of sort of the country and where he's from, Brazil, Norwich have recently opened links with the team, haven't they? Forgive me for not knowing how to pronounce or remembering the name of the team, but that's kind of where you put two and two together and think, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. It's a market that Norwich want to tap into. Typically, with South American players, you assume there's flair. It's kind of like a label that they often come to England with, which is if you're from South America and you're an attacking player, you're going to have some kind of flair that you just can't get here in England. Now, he played one game in 2022 so far, so we'll ignore that, and what we'll do is we'll look at 2020 and 2021. In that time, he played a combined 62 games, getting 9 goals and 9 assists. So in 2020, it was 5 goals, 4 assists. In 2021, it was the reverse, which off the bat doesn't suggest to me he's necessarily a creator and a goal scorer, which would make you think he's perhaps more of a number 8, which is interesting because I've got a video that I recorded earlier about Norwich's midfielders and keep, loan, sell, where I said in that number 8 position, I think it's McLean, Sorensen kind of fill that void. So it's interesting that Norwich would be going for someone like Sara. That's what I'm inferring. I think, if you have an opposing opinion, please let me know in the comments down below. Let's talk about his position some more. Next to me, you'll see a heat map via SofaScore, and this was based off the 2021 season, which kind of suggests that he is, in fact, a sort of drifting midfielder who likes to get onto the left. The season before, which I don't have to hand, I think was sort of the reverse, really, which is down the right. So you see the most red in the opposition half, again furthering that idea that he's more of an attacking minded player, which you look at Norwich City and the way they function, they kind of like that naturally central player to push out wide. Kieran Dow's an example, Todd Cantwell is another example. I remember back in the days of Johnny Howson when he had that season in right wing. It seems to be a Norwich City thing. Wes Houlihan's another example where a player who's typically central seems to drift out wide and do their thing out wide. Transfer market as well suggests that he is a number 8 to me. In terms of the most games in certain positions, it seems to be split between centre mid, left mid and right mid, which is very interesting. Again, that word versatility comes to mind, doesn't it? Average key passes per game in 2021 was 1 per game, which I think is decent. I always find it interesting with stats because I'm basically not a stat merchant. I say what I see, which, love it or hate it, is just the way I operate. So when I see or hear a key pass per game, I think that's pretty good going because that sounds like a chance to create a goal, which if you're creating one of those every game on average, that's pretty good to me. And those who are more statistically indulged, please correct me and tell me if I'm being silly. He averaged 25 passes per game with an 81% pass accuracy. Averaged a tackle per game. You can tell it's late. And got 3 yellow cards over the 2021 season. The 3 yellow cards indicates to me maybe he's not so much of a tackler. But yeah, that's all we know in terms of Gabriel Sara. I think it's quite an interesting one. It was almost inevitable that Norwich would be linked to some sort of a South American, especially Brazilian player, given the links that the club have made quite recently. Your thoughts, I'd love to know them in the comments down below. A thumbs up would be appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one.